Good morning and welcome to our Bird Notes. This is Dwight Davis. There is a Coast Guard patrol boat named the Shearwater. That sounds an appropriate name for a boat with the image of the prow slicing through the seas, but the word originally was applied to a bird, with the name traceable back to the 17th century. Actually, the name now applies to a group of birds, superficially resembling gulls, which spend most of their lives at sea. The name is supposed to derive from the way that the wingtips of the birds shear the water as they fly over it. These are truly pelagic birds, that is, they spend their entire lives in the open ocean, except to nest, and they're perfectly adapted to such a life. They can soar for miles over the tops of the waves as they search for small animals to feed on at the surface of the sea. They can drink salt water without harm because of special glands that extract the salt and excrete it through peculiar tube-like structures on the top of the beak. Shearwaters and their relatives are thus sometimes called tube noses. It is also likely that the tubes serve another purpose, the reception of odor, the better to locate food. Shearwaters can be seen off our coasts in the summer, but one has to board a boat and head well away from the beach to see them. The Cories and greater shearwaters, the smaller Manx and Audubon shearwaters, and the sooty shearwater all frequent the Atlantic Ocean. Just seeing them is one thing, identifying them is another. Take the similar Manx and Audubon shearwaters. The latter has a distinctive field mark, a little white spot in front of the eye. The former does not. Now, consider a foot-long dark bird some 50 or 60 yards away, soaring above the waves, occasionally disappearing in the troughs, and you on a boat, tossed by those same waves, trying to steady yourself and to keep the bird in sight through your binoculars. I think I'd just write Shearwater on my checklist and be done with it. As I said, shearwaters come to land only to nest, and they nest in burrows or crevices in the rocks. And it was at one of those nesting holes that one of the legendary bird stories began. Years ago, a Manx shearwater was removed from its burrow in Wales and taken to Boston and released. 12 days later, and across 3,000 miles, the bird turned up back at its burrow, an amazing feat of orientation and navigation. Perhaps one day we'll understand how the bird did it.